The Season 4 update for Warzone just dropped, and we have a ton to go over from the patch notes. We got weapon balancing, new weapons, new conversion kits, updates to Resurgence and Urzikstan. So if you like the content, make sure to drop me a like and lock in, because this is going to be a crazy update. First, we've got the Kar 98 back in Warzone for the first time since Warzone 1 ended. It'll one-shot to the head out to 63 meters, which is a huge W, and will give another one-shot option in the sniper category. Keep in mind, at the end of Warzone 1, it only one-shot out to 50 meters. So this is going to be a buff to the Kar 98. We're also getting the Superi 46 SMG, which looks like it's going to be a really fun close-range weapon, chambered in pistol rounds. So who knows how this is actually going to play and if it'll be part of the meta, but stay tuned to find out. In mid-season, we're getting the Reclaimer 18 shotgun, which is like the Gallo and the Spaz from earlier Black Ops games. We're going to have 8 new aftermarket parts, with one coming each week, which should make for a ton of fun new builds this season. First is going to be the Jack Harbinger kit, which is going to turn the M4 into a 50 cal rifle. Next is going to be the Jack Gunslinger, which is going to give the Basilisk 8 rounds and faster fire rate. We're also getting the Jack Volk, which is going to turn the KV inhibitor into a 2-round burst. We're getting the Jack Scimitar, which is going to give the FJX Horse better recoil range and a bigger magazine. The Jack Thumper, which is going to turn the grenade launcher into a longer distance grenade launcher. The Jack Requiem, which is for the Cast-Off 7.62 and will eliminate all vertical recoil on the weapon. The Jack Decimator, which is going to turn the Lockman Shroud burst SMG into a fully automatic. And the Jack Intimidator, which is going to turn the Renetti pistol into a single fire pistol. Urzikstan's also getting some big changes this season. The player count's going from 100 to 120, which should make all big map games more action-packed. The Gulag's getting 4 new variants, which should mix up the flow of how that plays. The popular mode Buyback Royale is making its return to solos on the big map. Urzikstan's also getting tac sprint boots and specialist perks, along with bunker busters, utility boxes, loot hot zones, and a new vehicle. We're getting brand new floor loot, which should make the game feel fresh again. We finally get a keybind for our gas mask, so you don't have to equip it and unequip it in the inventory anymore. And now what everybody's excited for, the weapon balancing. The BP-50 is getting a movement nerf big time. The BAL-27 is going to get a damage range buff. The Holger is going to get a buff. The SVA is getting a nerf. The MCW is going to get a slight buff. The MTZ-556 is getting a buff. The Cast-Off 7.62 is getting a buff. The Chimera is getting a buff, and the ISO Hemlock is getting a buff. For SMGs, the AMR is getting a buff. The FJX Horse is getting a pretty decent buff. The Rival 9 is going to get a slight buff to bullet velocity. The Striker 9 is getting a nerf, and the WSP 9 is getting a nerf. This is going to shift the meta big time, so we're going to have to figure out what's going to be good this season. For LMGs, the DG58 LSW, which is by far probably one of the best long-range options right now, got a nerf. The Holger 26 got a slight buff, so that should make it a little better in the meta. The SOA Subverter did not get touched, so that's still going to be one of the better long-range options you can currently use. The XRK Stalker got a slight damage nerf, but I think it's going to be okay, and all the snipers will be fairly well balanced, with the Kar 98 coming in and being a super close-range sniper, the XRK being more for the mid-range, the Moors being more for the long range, and then you also have all the other snipers that you can add explosive rounds to, and all sorts of different options to get one-shot snipers now. And so here's where I think the meta is going to shake out. For long range, the SOA didn't get touched, so try that. The MTZ-556 was already good and got a slight buff, and also the Holger 26 was already really good and got a slight buff. For close range, I'm going to suggest the Striker, the Rival 9, and the FJX Horus as an initial attempt at guessing this close range meta. The WSP 9 and the Striker 9 may still end up being okay, but with those nerfs, we'll definitely need to test out some new weapons. And if you want some outsider picks for the meta, definitely try the Kar 98. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, especially on Rebirth. And then try the WSP Stinger pistols. I've been trying to talk about them for a while now, and nobody seems to be picking up on it, but they're extremely good in the close range. And if you guys made it this far in the video, seriously, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm trying to build up my YouTube, and every like and comment and just all the watch time, it all helps. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.